Bienvenidos and welcome a Cositas Mami Never Told Me, a podcast that dives deep into the Latin cultural norms that have long haunted the feminine genre. Móntate and buckle up porque it's going to be a roller coaster ride. ¡Nos fuimos!
Hey.
Hi, Diana.
Hey, girl. So today we're going to do a little spicy one. But before we do that, right, because y'all like some spicy shit. Y'all like the and sazon and a little bit of sriracha.
And not the organic kind.
Yo, if it's adobo and sazon, that shit is fucking got a whole bunch of shit in it. So
Bad MSG, color 4, color red, color 7, color blue, whatever that shit means, that I just found out a few years ago that it's like toxic for you.
it's bad.
All
it's
kinds of
bad.
MSGs.
These motherfuckers rich off us too. Goya is rich off us.
He's a Trump supporter, the CEO.
Embuste.
I swear. That's why I swapped to Loisa, which is a Puerto Rican owned brand. And it tastes a little different, the sazon and adobo, but it gets the job done.
So I'm gonna use the rest of my Goya adobo.
Yes.
I go that crazy.
I know. I when I found out the CEO was a Trump supporter during the first election, I definitely boycotted for a little bit. But
I feel like I knew that, but I was like,
I went back.
Exactly.
I
know that
which
Nomi,
we all do.
I think it's Nomi. She does TikToks and stuff. Is it her or the other woman? And I'm so sorry that I'm fucking up their names. Yeah, so
Hopper.
They use another brand that
I think she uses Loisa.
TikTok. Oh, okay. So I'm about to be put on because I got.
So Loisa's good. It's just more like, for instance, for the sazon, I believe they use a blend of turmeric, but Sophie didn't notice. So it's definitely not. Your hands are not gonna get orange fully. You know what I'm saying?
Shit. For like hours. But what the fuck? Motherfucker immediately know you was cooking shit. That shit be all over the place. If you run out of blush, just get some sazon on your shit. You straight. No, but
seriously. I don't even know how we went there. But yes. Oh no, because they like it spicy. They like it spicy.
So today we're gonna talk about situationships. Lord Jesus. But before that, girl. So, all right. So I was just telling Rocio son, she's like, nope, let's press record. That's so funny because we're always chit-chatting right before we're about to do something on this podcast. And then either she tells me or I tell her, no, stop. Let's record. Let's do the chit-chat. So, ran into a few people last night, and Jessie, and I told her I wasn't going to say her name, but Jessie, she loves the podcast, and I ain't going to say we was talking about last night, girl. I ain't going to keep that to myself. But Colleen also came up to me. So people are always asking me, and not them in particular, but people will come up to me and say, I don't understand why you guys haven't blown up. It's so good. I listen to it going into work, or I listen to it while I'm on the treadmill at work, or I listen to it while blah, blah, blah. Right? And then, now it's come to the point where I'm not going to be humble anymore. I'm like, I don't know either. I'm going to be like, well, bitch, you need to fucking share us. And bitch very humbly and lovely.
TH.
Right. Not bitch like in a disrespectful manner. Like, bitch, I'm my homegirl. So, this morning I posted a post. And I'm going to post another one this afternoon. Because I haven't seen none of y'all sharing it. But y'all need to tell your moms, tell your grandmothers. They will get a kick out of it. I know a lot of older ladies that love it. Mm-hmm. That love it. And they're always talking about, the things that we said, and you guys are so crazy. And when you said dick, oh my God. I'm like, yep. Even though my husband doesn't like when I say dick, cock, phallus. But the ladies love it. So, share us. Please. This is a plea. I'm not begging, but a plea. Like, get our numbers up. If y'all feel like y'all telling me y'all feeling, then share us. It don't cost nothing. Like, we're not asking y'all for money. We're telling y'all to share that. Share and or take somebody's phone like I be doing.
Exactly. Yeah, no, for real, because subscriptions and follows is what blows you up. It creates the algorithm that people are like, oh, people are watching this. And for the record, we spend a lot of time figuring out when we're going to record, editing, coming up with social media strategies. We're going to be doing the toy drive again. Like I've said it a few times, Diana and I have excuse me, full-time gigs, we're moms, we're, you know, she's a wife and I'm in a situationship. But we
that's
do
not a situation. That's more than a situation.
and we love doing this. So, but it takes time. But if we gotta get these numbers up, So we love that you guys come up to what? Go ahead.
No, and then they can say, "Oh my God, I remember when they was like."
When they was fire, because they still fire. I do want to send a shout out to Daisy, because Daisy, I met her at the softball championship game. Shout out to the Phillies for winning. Again, is it what, like how many wins? 8?
Back to back to back to back. 8 altogether. Because that's what we do. So for all of y'all that be listening that want to bring some shit back to back to back to back, let's go.
We are not affiliated with any of the teams.
I'm partial to one.
She's partial to one. There's no affiliation. There's no proper endorsement. They could cut us a check and we will endorse.
Yeah. Okay. For real.
Till then. Anyway, but Daisy was officially the first person who listens to the podcast that came up to me, and she was so sweet. And she was like, Rocio, I'm Daisy. You say people never come up to you, so I'm gonna come up to you. And she also told me that she was one of the people who said, you can't have those cositas. I said, I know. But you know what's funny? That I've been really thinking about it, and switching would be a marketing faux pas anyway. But cositas is kind of our thing. And I think we'll always refer to the show as cositas. And I think people would just come along for the ride. But shout out to Daisy. She also gave Sophie, my daughter, this little plastic star or whatever. And according to Freddie, I don't know if I told you this story. Freddie was like, I think when they lost the second game, he looked up and Sophie, which is totally her, was looking at the star and it lights up. It's like a little plastic star. It lights up. And he said he saw Sophie look at the star and he said she closed her eyes and she pointed it up to the sky and then she went like this and put it in her pocket. And Freddie was like, after that, I knew he was going to win. And I said, stop.
Go, Sophie.
And he was like, Rocio, I swear. It's like I happened to catch her and she like calmed me down. And I was like, oh, we're going to win. We got this. Sophie sent it up to the heavens. And then ironically, she came and I don't know when she did that part because I didn't see her, but she came and sat on me and she was like, she started talking about her auntie Amber and her popsy who passed away, which I was like, oh, it could have been this connection she made that she was kind of like, we need this win. Let me send it to the people who mommy says watch over us. And, maybe Sophie, won the game for them. But shout out to Daisy. Shout out to Sophie.
But to be fair, in the past you said, I don't need nobody coming up to me.
And by the way, I believe Daisy did that. I believe Daisy did say, I know you be like, don't come up to me, but I'm gonna come up to you. I believe she said that. And I was like,
go up there and say hi. She was joking. She's totally joking, y'all.
Joking, not really, but I'm joking.
I don't know if I shared it. Did I share the when the gentleman came up to me on Pratt Street on the podcast, or did I just tell you?
Probably.
So this gentleman, we were at Salsa for Julie's birthday. Shout out to Julie. What up, girl?
Shout
Love
out,
you.
Body yaddy, like shoulders crazy. From the gods.
Girl, body yaddy. Lord crazy. Jesus, her back crazy. So her arms, everything. Her soul is spirit. But anyways, so we are celebrating her birthday, and this guy comes up to me, and I'm sorry that I forgot your name. I'm so sorry. You know who you are. You came up to me. You were like, yo, I love what you guys are doing. The podcast is amazing. You guys are hilarious. I love it. Just keep pushing, keep doing it. And I was just like, oh. And I loved it because I love those moments, but then to see my friends look at it, there was like 5 of my friends there, and they were looking, they was like, oh my God.
I want that.
Yeah, so Rachel and Julie said it, but then Abby and Jessica, shout out to them too, and Flab, they were all like, oh shit. So that it was a cool moment, and Rachel was just like, yo, that was cool to see. I was like, yo, I know. Shout out to Rachel. My casino road dog, my workout road dog, my whole bunch of yo, you know you owe when you're sharing recipes. Rachel, sorry. Yo, you know we sharing recipes now?
When you start sharing recipes and meds.
Not meds, I ain't there yet. But she did give me her tres leches recipe.
Or like CBD lotions or like gummies.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
To sleep. You're like,
okay, I thought you meant like other meds, like, yo, I got the beaties. I got the beaties and what?
Girl, I need the Xanax. No.
Right. I thought you meant those meds. I'm about to be like, girl, I ain't it yet.
No, definitely like
no, but I've known Rachel for like years, right? And she's always had, like, whenever we had an event at work or whenever, because she's cousins with Jay Lyric. Shout out to Jay and happy birthday, because this is his birthday month. So
and he's on vacation, so don't go to the barbershop.
Don't go. He said no. He won't be back to November 5th. So she always brought this tres leche cake. Oh my gosh. And I'd be like, yo, Rachel. And finally, I asked her. She was like, yo, those cookies. I was like, all right, so if you give me that tres leche. She was like, okay. I was like, and I made it, and my family thought I was the GOAT. And I was like, yo, I'm about to go get a stand mixer, because I am tired of mixing with my hand and with the hand mixer. So I'm about to get a stand mixer. I'm about to really bake out this bitch.
I love that.
Yeah. And a friend of ours actually was telling me, he was like, yo, D, you should really like sell that shit. And I was like, I'll think about it. I don't know.
For sure.
If I want to get in the
by the way, I tell you that all
the
time when you make like 100 cookies for school. I'm like, I'm confused. Do you make flancocho?
I don't make flancocho, but my husband was telling me that he keeps saying, like, he went from dropping subliminal hints to like to dropping elephants on my ass. Like, so at first he was like, baby, you know how to make flan? And I was like, no, but I guess I could learn how to make flan, right? So then, damn, I wish I had some flan. Can you make some flan? It went like it was a progression.
Subliminal, like random.
So it was a progression. No, but so I'm thinking, because I did try a regular vanilla cake, because I was thinking about doing a tres leches coquito cake with the rum and everything in it for the holidays. But I did venture off and did a regular vanilla cake just to see, you know, how fluffy I can make it and all that stuff, because I didn't know it was such a process. Adding the flour, then you whip, adding the flour. I didn't know it was all that, because, you know, I'm so used to doing boxed. But I'm about to do this flancocho, because I know somebody that knows how to do it, and theirs was all right, but I think I could elevate that shit. So yeah, I'll try it.
It's one of my flancochos, one of my favorites.
Yeah,
oh my god, it's so good. I'm
gonna try that shit, and I'll be like, "Here you go, B." You're gonna be like,
"Yes."
I might bring it to your face. So all right, good. Let me just, I'll practice. I'll
figure that out.
Yeah, I got
you. Yes. So, do we want to get into this episode? Okay, so this episode came as a request by several people, but most recently, and I won't say her name, you know who you are, because I'm not going to blow up your spot, because she said, I would totally go on the podcast,
and her
but
parents.
there's too many people I know. Exactly.
Parents listen.
And then someone else yesterday said, damn, I'll be listening to, he was a man, and you know him too, and I happen to be with him usually in the morning, but that's too much already. Was like, yo, I'll be listening to the podcast, and I'll be like, yo, I would love to go on there and just fucking build with you. And he's like, but I can't, because too many motherfuckers listen to the podcast.
Yup. And there's too many people trying to find out who we had, the guy who we had still to this day.
Yes.
Trying to get on the roster.
I was like, I told this particular person, I said, you know what's crazy? That we had a guy on the podcast and we never said who he was. And I said, do you know how many women, even though he was semi-honest and mentioned that he has a semi-roster, it's this psyche of like, I will calm him down. I will settle him down. And people are inquiring about the guy who's talking about the roster. Like, what are we doing?
Can I be a part of it? I was like,
more importantly,
wait a minute.
We never showed his face. You don't know what he looks like.
No.
But I just had a thought. That is literally BDE in the that is like the epicenter of BDE. A man who you haven't even seen, but just off voice and how he delivers and what he was saying.
I think it had a lot to do with him fucking that prostitute in Las Vegas and her being blown away by his dick. That might have been.
Did we share that story?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was like,
that coupled with them not knowing, like you said. So they're like, wow, he's so mysterious, BDE, blah, blah, blah. And he has an amazing sex game. I got to be home.
Yeah. I'm intrigued. Not interested. Definitely intrigued. And I'm definitely at the age, and Diana's married, I am not, where I can partake in auditions and not have it go any further. But I am intrigued. Like, I am at the age and stage where sometimes I'll be in the grocery store and I'll be like, and then it's automatically like wondering, like, I wonder if he has a big dick. And that's it. Like, and now I've given too much. I don't care. But that's where I am. I'm 44. I'm at Whole Foods. I see an attractive guy. And it's not like I'm going to step to him. It's not like, it's literally, I'm just saying sometimes what people think and nobody wants to say it.
Right.
Because you'd be like, he probably got a little dick. Immediately. It's just, isn't it? I mean, again, Medina may not be able to give an opinion, but for me, it's like, it's crazy because you could, right? A guy, for me, and we discussed this a little bit on BD, if a man smells good and is put together, automatically I'm like, this is intriguing.
It makes you wonder about other things. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Especially if he has a reputation. So then that only makes his stock go up higher. Now, the opposite of that can also be true, where somebody says, oh, girl, I had sex with him and that shit was horrible, right? But then the motherfucker walking around town and you're like, hey, motherfucker, you got I heard your shit trash. You're thinking it, right? You're thinking
or you'd be like, I heard that's why you eat a lot of box because you making up for what you lack.
For what you lack.
But it's funny. There was this, I swear, and I think I talked about that in season 1. There was this guy at Whole Foods when I lived in LA, right? A white guy, tall, attractive. And I think, of course, I have all this scenario in my head. I have never spoken to this man or interacted with him. Very good looking.
But you saw him all the time.
But I would run into him at Whole Foods all the time. Okay. And it was like we would exchange this energy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But this was me at the stage of like, I will never go up to a man. Now I'm no longer in that season. Okay. Thank you, Jesus. Diana has encouraged me, but I don't need to do that right now in my life. But if and when it appears, I have become open to being like, you know what, bitch? I gotta live. Mm-hmm. And if you're giving me the vibes and I'm giving you the vibes, even though sadly 90% of the time, sometimes you're getting vibes from men who are married or in relationships or in situationships, 10% of it could be that no one can claim sleeping with him, being in a relationship, or living in separate bedrooms but still being married, which we're going to get to in situationship. But this man, I give it as an example because I was like, there's clearly an energy here. And we both know because it was like the third time I ran into him, we made eye contact and he kind of went. And I was like,
yes.
But it never went there. All that to say, he was sweaty, gym shorts, still very attractive. And I was like, he got to have a big dick. It's got to be big. Just got to be big. And at that point, it's like, I almost don't want to know because if it's not, my whole vision and
fantasy.
Yes. So there's also those examples, things you want to keep in these like fantasy boxes.
Yeah, those little bubbles. Yeah.
Right? There's so many times where you can see someone and there could be energy exchange or whatever. And it's like, I had this conversation with a friend of mine who's a male, because I was like, it's like and this is a bigger reference, but it's like for men, it's like you guys automatically think because a woman thinks that way, she's in bed and already fucking. No, it's like sometimes we have these thoughts and it's just that. It's like
it's just
passing.
That. Mm-hmm.
And in my head, it's never led to like actually sleeping with this person, but it's like It's like my grocery store boyfriend. It's like, hey, grocery store boyfriend.
Grocery store crush.
That basically, I made up a name. I made up what he does for a living. Like,
oh shit!
In my head, but it's like
he has an amazing house, a great car.
Oh my god, the house is amazing. He probably drives a Porsche. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very LA. He's probably in the music business. You know,
okay.
The whole thing, the whole vibes. Because he definitely was giving ethnic energy, you know, like very Leor Cohen, very like, what's his name? Who's married to Camilla? What's his name? The actor. Anyway, very like Matt Damon in that
George
movie
Clooney?
where they. No, George is still giving too white. Like Matt Damon in the movie where they did the heist with the Red Sox, one of my favorite movies.
Nice.
Him and Matt.
Everybody in that movie got.
No. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. He's giving
everybody
Ben Affleck.
Everybody in that movie got BDE. Nice.
That movie. Isn't it called The Heist?
Everybody. Okay. And everybody in Departed, some of them are a little too white, but they all got BDE too.
No. You know what's funny? I'm saying I agree.
The Italians?
I agree. Yes. Those Southies from Boston, that's like.
Yeah, and the New York Italians too, though. The ones that be having that extra swag. Because you just see it when they got the Yankee cap on and they got the right Yankee cap on.
Oh my God.
The right one. Not the one that you gotta like fix. The one that's fitted.
Yeah.
And then they got the right necklace on.
See?
With a nice little V-neck in the summer and some shorts. What? Sorry, husband. I'm just.
No, I'm telling you, it's like from Do the Right Thing. It's like the Italian family from Do the Right Thing. Even though, you know what I'm saying? You're like, there is something about that cocky energy, but like when we're at home, don't talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm gonna elbow your ass. Stop fucking playing.
When we're at home, but like in public, yes, be that man. Yes.
No, I love that. You know what? I love that about my husband. Like when we go out or whatever. Like yesterday, we went out and we was chilling, whatever. And then you could tell when we had a drink or two, and then he gets in this little energy and he put his hat backwards. I'll be like, yes, he feel himself.
And then Diana's like, well, don't drink too much.
Baby.
Don't drink too much. So yeah. Anyway, so situationships, see? Tell the people what a situationship is.
Oh my gosh. Well, situationships, before they were called situationships, to me, like I was telling Rocio, is people that have issues with commitment, right? And I want to say, when I was younger, I was caught up in a lot of situationships because I was just not trying to be with nobody. I had my daddy issues. I was not trying to. Commitment to me was on the road to having babies, you know, old school Puerto Rican type mentality, where you got to stay home. And even though my mom showed me a different lens in that aspect, because she had to have a job, you know, both her and my father had to have jobs in order to support us. But in my head, the many examples that I saw were people, particularly women, that were getting into relationships to then have a child or get married to then have a child and then be home, like, you know, doing shit around the house and whatever the fuck housewives do that don't work. But, and listen, not to knock it, because listen, that is a hard ass job. Trust me, I know. But to me at that age, I was like, I don't know, shut the fuck. So I was seeing it in that aspect, but then in the same time, seeing that my mom and dad's relationship didn't work. So then I was like, I saw the pain in my mom, but I also saw the pain in my dad, because he got pain from the pain that he brought to my mom. So when I used to go see him, he used to see us, and then he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, he's looking at me.
Like the elephant in the room.
Because he's like, he's in pain that he can't be around us all the time. So I was just like, I'm trying to be in pain. So commitment to me was, okay,
unhappiness.
Trying to be in some serious shit. No, I wanted to be light. I wanted to be, you know how when you're on the top of the water on a jet ski, you don't want to come off that shit. When you're on some, when you're on a ride, you want to fall off that shit. So to me, it's like on the surface, commitment, you know, you're not trying to give it a title. Once you give it a title, once you get a marriage certificate, all that shit, it meant that it wasn't going to be fun anymore. It meant that it wasn't going to be, you know, because when you're courting, or, you know, when you're starting to meet someone, or when you're in that honeymoon stage, as people call it, you wear several masks, right? The person doesn't know you or you don't know them. So you're portraying the best part of you, all these amazing, great things. And that's why I always say, you got to wait till you have your first argument, B. That's when you see the real, how people maneuver, how the manipulation, how the hiding, how the lying and all that shit. So then once you get there, it's like, I didn't want it. So the definition, for all of you that don't know, did you have it right there? I have it too, but if you want to, no? Yes? You want me to do it?
No, go ahead. I have it too.
Situationship, a romantic or sexual relationship that is not considered to be formal or established. So you can hear someone saying, man or woman, because in what I was talking about, I was the woman that didn't want the commitment. So this could be the person that wants it. I'm trying to turn our situationship into something more serious. So can we name what this is? So that's, a situationship. Now, Rosia and I were talking at the beginning before we started recording, and she's like, do people like, and then we're like, no, press record. Because it's true. Like, there's so many different types of things that could be situationships. It could be the fucking. It could be an emotional without the sexual. You could have a totally emotional situationship with somebody and not know it. At work with somebody where you're connecting crazy with somebody. What about you? What definitions of what things have you seen?
So the funny thing is, for me, like when we decided to do this episode, I was like, have I ever really been in a situationship like in the past before I got married? And if I'm being fully transparent, I guess my relationship with Phil started as a situationship because even though he was separated, they were still married. And now I'm being way transparent, but I don't care. So Phil was everybody's boss. He was my boss's boss. He was like the CEO of all Puffs companies or whatever. And I was young. I had just broken up with like my college boyfriend. Not just, but I had broken up with my college boyfriend, and I was at Sean John really starting my career. And then Phil is the CEO, everybody's boss. Like Phil would walk to the office and it was like everyone was like little soldiers, almost like in The Devil Wears Prada, where everyone in Anna Wintour comes in. And it's funny because he described himself as firm but fair, but I guess because I was a little naive, I was always like, I don't really care who this man is. Like, I never really thought about the hierarchy in the company, like now when I look back, I was like, whatever, I don't work for him. When really I did. But I say all that to say he like approached me. And at first it was very from a professional perspective. And again, I feel like I was naive and I didn't really see what was happening because though they were separated, he was still married. And I never saw it like in that way. When I was like a marketing assistant, and then all of a sudden I would get assigned to go to Miami for the VMAs, and it was like, oh, I have to do all the promo for Sean John, and which I was like, oh, okay, this part of my job. But really, in my head, I'm like, I don't really need to be here. Like something is off. And then in retrospect, Phil was really trying to get to know me. He was trying to and it was always very respectful in the sense of like, it wasn't just me. It was like, there was someone from Bad Boy there. Everyone was sent to these gigs or these in-store appearances. But then as we started connecting and I started to get to know him, and then it led to us like kind of dating, I realized that it was a situationship because even if I wanted it to be more, it couldn't be more. One, he was still technically married, though it was one of those, he lives downstairs, she lives upstairs for a little bit. And then he moved out. And then, we got together in a more official capacity. But I guess that was my first exposure to a situationship where you kind of you're exclusive to each other, but it almost sounds crazy because how are we exclusive when you still live at home? And it's not my boyfriend. It's like, so when we were preparing for this episode, I was like, damn, I guess I have been in a situationship in the past. And then now that Phil and I have separated and I've started dating, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely, but I've realized that my current situationship is because after a bit of a season, I realized that I was such a commitment person because of being in a relationship for so long that I automatically was like, oh, the next thing I get into, it has to have legs, and it has to, like, what does this person fulfill with these buckets, and what are my non-negotiables? And then it's funny because our episode with Yadi, shout out to Yadi on the dating episode, when she said something so prevalent where she was like, people date right now and they put so much pressure on this date, or so much pressure on this person to fulfill, like, oh, this bucket, that bucket, this bucket. And then it's like you eliminate people when really sometimes some seasons are just for that. It's just to have fun, or to kind of expose you into the dating world, or to kind of like even develop a friendship or have amazing sex or whatever it is. But I kind of was like, you know what? I don't want a relationship. I was in a relationship for so long that I really enjoy like my home with just me and my daughter, which I lived with Phil for 20 years. I haven't been in a space where it's just me, and now it's Sophie. I love that for me. So to think of bringing someone in is like the last thing on my mind. But do I want to go on dates? Do I want to have good sex? Do I want to have good conversation? Yes. So I when I started to approach it that way, and I had this conversation, and I feel like at first it was probably not received the right way. But with time, it's been like, I get it. I get that even though there's like exclusivity in some areas, I get that you don't want to be in a relationship, if that makes sense. So that to me is like I was reading the benefits and the downfalls of situationships. And it is like, sometimes one person will eventually want more. And like, what do you do then?
Well, I think that if both people aren't where they need to be, then they really need to communicate that. Some people will take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? I've seen situations in the past, especially in the past, oh my goodness, where women would be up in arms, like fighting every time they saw each other. And I'm like, didn't you fight her like 2 weeks ago? Like, what's going on? Like, why do you keep fighting this girl?
What do you mean? Like, because the person is interacting.
Because the male was in situationships with both of them, right?
Got it.
And so if he wasn't transparent, and at the time, like I said, I was the one that had like mad commitment issues, so I could shed light on on that guy at that moment and tell my friend, hey, listen, like, if you don't communicate what it is that you want, then he's going to be like, why are you guys fighting? Y'all both know that I don't want a relationship, so I don't understand why y'all fighting. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing that he would say. He would say that.
And by the way, that's a plus, because what I have found, and just through friendships with men, is that to me, I feel like I'm sometimes too transparent. I'm working on my delivery in every area of my life. But I think that transparency has become like this cliche word. And there's a difference between being honest and transparent. Number one. Number two, I think it's very few people who are able to say just those simple words like, I like you, I like what's going on, but I'm seeing other people. And it's one, hard to deliver that, and two, also like on the ego to the other person. Yeah, it's like, but even if the other person also doesn't want to be tied down, to hear it is like, oh my God, like it's a bruise to the ego. But kudos, and there's something to be said about someone who could be like, I love what we have going on. I don't want to label, but I also am not in a space where I want to be exclusive. I respect that heavily, because now as the other person, I can make a decision based on your honesty and not something you want me to believe.
Right.
Even though it's harsh to hear sometimes, but I'd rather that. Right. So kudos to anybody who could be like.
Absolutely. And I think that the person that's receiving it that doesn't like what they're hearing has to also
not ready for a situationship, bitch.
Yeah. And they should be very honest with themselves and communicate what it is that they want and say, do you think that something in the future may turn, or am I wasting my time? 9 times out of 10, the person's going to tell you whether you're wasting your time or not. Because if a person is living a life of having situationship, and you've seen this, your pussy or your cock is not going to be this magical thing that's going to change their mind. You know, I think it all depends on everything that comes in the package. Sometimes it hits people over the head like they don't even know, like, what the fuck? A lot of people that I know that were fuck boys and fuck girls, I'm like, oh shit, you in a relationship? What the fuck? This shit came out of nowhere. I don't know what the fuck happened, but this is my person and this is it. You know what I'm saying? So it's never anything wrong, you know, because everybody has a right to do whatever the hell they want. But if they're expressing that they don't want to be in something, first of all, you have to be okay with that. Because they're telling you, they're being straight up, because at the end of the day, they could be lying and saying, yeah, I love you, because I know some fuck boys like that too. I'm not going to name you out, but y'all listening.
Hell yeah.
They say I love you to every single person.
Within a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, they say I love you to every single person in order to put their hand up their ass and manipulate them. So now they're a puppet, and now they're fighting or almost killing themselves, or, you know, disrespecting your family and your parents, running up in your job. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could also have that type of shit. So no, this person is being transparent and saying, hey, listen, I have a good time with you. I don't feel like I want to be tied down right now. I am seeing other people. Or they can say, hey, I really like what's going on. I don't want to see nobody else, but at the same time, I don't want to name this. Let's just flow. You know what I'm saying? But it is up to you whether or not you want to do those things. You don't have to stay there, right? But then don't stay there and be mad either. Like, you can't do that either. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you've seen situations like that where people be like, well, you know, I've been here for a year and a half, and all we're doing is, but I told you, and I've been telling you, and I told you to leave if you don't want it, but you didn't. That's not on me. You know what I'm saying? So it could be clear communication, and that could be good for some people, but some people, that rejection shit ain't no joke. Imagine somebody telling you, well, you know, every person that they've ever dated wanted them, and then all of a sudden somebody says no, and they're like, oh shit, what? That rejection ain't no joke. So
I think one thing that you've mentioned that is important is that the example we gave is of someone who is transparent and is like, you know, the communication is overly communicative. Like, it's a situationship. I'm not sure, you know, I'm enjoying this, whatever. But I think the bigger problem is that 90% of the time, those conversations aren't had. So what's happening? You are in a situation where you know you don't have a label. And whether you're joking or not, you never refer to it. So in your mind, and I know women tend to do this, you start to build up these scenarios for what's to come, or like, he did this, so he must feel this way. You know what? Men do this too, actually. Or she did this, so she must be feeling this way. And I think the key to any relationship, because a situationship is still a relationship of sorts, is that communication, so that one, you know where you stand, not only with them, but for yourself. And again, it goes back to, do I want to be in this? And two, without the communication, you will run into those situations where let's say you see another woman, and now it's anger. And now I've always said, and I know Phil and I, because we were together so long, to me, what is more powerful is that you were honest with me, so that when and if I'm in a room with someone that you dated, you slept with, you're dating, I have the power. You know, you informed me. So now I have the power, versus walking into a room and feeling like everyone else is like, bitch, he fucked me, or I'm fucking him. You know, again, communicating the fact that I'm okay with this, you know, or I'm not okay with it. So I feel like, unfortunately, the 10% is upfront and communicating it, because we have a very good friend that has trouble doing that as a man. He has trouble just being like, it is what it is. And, you know, it's like, and to me, there is the problem. Therein lies the problem. You're being unclear. So then don't trip when she trip.
Right. Don't trip. That's good. I like that.
Don't trip when she trips. Cause did you say it's a cuddle? You a cuddle buddy. Winter's coming. I need a snuggle bug. Did you again? And it's like just because it sounds fucked up doesn't mean it doesn't need to be said. Because if you care about yourself and you care about this other person, in my opinion, just be fair and let people make decisions based on honesty. It's funny. It says, is a situationship toxic? In theory, situationships are great for two people who are looking to keep things casual. Yet, in practice, situationships tend to be toxic and hard to break out of. While the arrangement might start on a level playing field, one person usually develops feelings of wanting more.
Well, I asked the guy, and guess what he said? It is the sweetest, warmest, most inviting trap you'll ever get caught in.
Ooh.
Because you know what? The same guy told me, listen, I'm this way because I know what I'm worth. I'm this way. I have no children. I have an amazing job. I love to travel. I have the means, and I'm going to date and have a good time until I'm ready to settle. No one's going to make me settle. To this point, I've not met anyone that's my equal, and I need someone to be my equal. And he does not mean in material things. He means in his mind. He means in the things that, so he's thinking broad. You know what I'm saying? It's okay, like when you're meeting somebody on that honeymoon stage again, and you got this cutesy mask, and but a lot of times, like I find myself having conversations with guys at the park or guys at the bar that I know, and a lot of them tell me the same thing. Like I can't sit down and have a conversation. Everything has to be about what they want, what they're feeling, what about me? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of guys now are being a little bit more selfish, and they're saying, what about me and what I'm feeling? And I'm like, that you are 100% right. Yes. So he's like, I have a list of things that I want in a woman, just like women out here have been putting a list out for years, and we're steady trying to chase the list. Nah, I got a list because I know my worth. I've been very careful about not having any kids. I've been very, very diligent in making sure that I went to school and got, the job that I got so that I can make the money that I make, so that I am, ready to, when I retire, that I have money, so I have a second home and all this stuff. So why would I squander it on anyone? Is what he said. So I was just like, listen, I get it. But he was like, in the meantime, I'm going to have fun. And whoever wants to present themselves to me, however they present themselves to me, then fine. He was like, there was maybe one person, that he was just like feeling, but then found out that she had been like straight out of a relationship, but was still going back and forth to her ex-fiance. And he was like, he knew it because she communicated it, but he didn't want to be a part of it. And she ended up going back to him anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? It's that type. But on the other side, he's like, yo, this dating shit out here is fucking crazy. To show you some shit here and not be what they're showing you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like they're looking for somebody. He says he runs into a lot of women that are looking for somebody that are trying to take care of them. And I'm just, bruh, so crazy. And listen, I'm glad, I'm happy, but I will tell you, Rocio knows, we have conversations like this all the time, where don't give up on that list. Shit, fuck that. And communicate. Like we've been saying communication this whole time. This whole 43 minutes we've been talking about communication. And it's okay, especially in your 40s. Shit, your late 30s.
Talk about things I wish I would have known. Things mommy should have told me. 100%.
Yes.
I say it probably once a week that like there is something so powerful your late 30s, and then you turn 40. I love my 40s. But then I don't know if motherhood changes it for other people, but for me, as soon as I had my daughter, it was like, fuck this shit. I swear, D. I had Sophie, she came out. Phil pointed out to me, she was probably 2 months old, and he was like, Rocio, you just know what she needs. Every time you just know. I was like, bruh, I didn't get a manual, but my intuition, she's hungry, she's got gas, she's this, she's that. It was like, but I feel like that helped me identify a superpower in me, that I was like, yo, I am raising a human. I'm responsible for a human. I don't give a fuck about saying no, about being clear, about this doesn't feel good, about checking in with myself, about what I'm worth. You know, for probably 2.5 years after I had Sophie, I was at my heaviest, and I've always been pretty small, but it was like, I also dealt with that season, which I had never been comfortable, like never had happened in my life, of like, damn, I'm fat. I've gained weight. Like, who am I? Who am I? I was also, COVID started. I was like wetting my feet in full-time consulting. I didn't have, something to stand on work-wise, but it did something for me that season. And then going into 40, where it's like, now that I am dating, it's like, I still deal with a little bit of like, oh, like I don't want to come off too harsh, or, oh, like, does this feel good or whatever. But I try my best, and not only to honor myself, but to be respectful to the other person, to be like, I know it may not make sense to you. I know if it feels great sometimes. I know that it's like we want bits and pieces of what a relationship could be, but I'm not there to want more. And I also respect if your goal in this is to want more. I really am in a season of flow. I just want to flow. Like, there's things that I won't share on camera, but as Diana know, there's so many heavier life death things that I'm dealing with, that it's like, I don't necessarily feel a void in the sexual or relationship or emotional department enough to like have to fill it with something so constraining, and be like, okay, here I am once again. He doesn't fill this, blah, 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 blah. These buckets aren't being filled. Like, this needs to be perfect in my life. And I feel like that comes with being older. And I really, 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 I was having this conversation with Alyssa, who was our intern. Shout out to Alyssa last season. God forbid she's preparing for law school. So she can't help us this season. Whatever. Like, fuck law school. No, just kidding. We love that. But I was having a conversation, and Alyssa's in college. She's a senior, and who knows if it falls on deaf ears, but I go out of my way to her and to any young woman to be like, if it doesn't feel good, check in with yourself. Do not feel pressure. Do not, because she made a comment about a friend who was like, yeah, girl, she doesn't know how to get out of this. And it's like a situationship of sorts, and there's a lot of moving pieces. And I'm like, just do it. Just get out. Like the one thing you don't get back is time. And I learned that later in life, where it's like, it might sound fucked up. You might end up hurting somebody. And who knows, 2-3 weeks later, you're like, damn, I miss him, whatever. But if it's not feeding you, get out. It's like, I'm reading here. It's like, how do I know if I'm in a situationship, right? Situationships are characterized by a lack of obligation or exclusivity, but the real hallmark is a lack of clear boundaries or labels. There are elements of friendship and romance, but they exist without defining the relationship. Sometimes situationships can be healthy, but it simply depends on the people involved, the relationship dynamic, and the romantic goals of both people. From playing the dating field to not being fully ready for a committed relationship, there are many reasons as to why a situationship can be fun and liberating. So it's like, let's circle back to communication. You know, it's crazy to me that I feel like you need more communication in a situationship than you need in a relationship.
And if you don't know that you're in a situationship, let me give you a couple characteristics. Let me give you a couple. The relationship is undefined. We talked about that already. There's no consistency. There's no mention of the future, except like, I'm gonna come over here later.
Is that the future? That's in 2 hours.
The connection is superficial. The relationship is based on convenience. The relationship is not exclusive. There isn't much follow-up. Hello? Rocio said 2 words. Honor yourself. Honor yourself. You only get one of you. Honor yourself. You cannot let these clowns play with you. You do not work at a circus. That is the only way that you would let clowns play around you. If you worked at a circus, you do not. If you do work at a circus, then I mean, whatever.
And guess what? If you dealing with the clowns, you probably a clown, so clown them back.
But all that to say that what you want matters. What you want matters. You have to make sure that what you want is heard. If it sounds needy to them, then you don't need to be fucking with them. I mean, if they call you needy, they ain't calling you needy when they want the pussy. They ain't calling you needy when they calling you at 2:00 in the morning after the club trying to dip in your box. Right? Sometimes you gotta let them miss you, though. You gotta let them miss you.
Yes. What is it? Is a situationship any different from back in the day where you just hooking up? Like, I feel like nowadays there's like all these trendy words, situationship or whatever, but it's like, the more I think about it, do you think it's different from like back in the day when
like a booty call?
Yeah, like
I think it's different. The booty call.
I guess it is. Yes.
Yeah, because I think some situationships, people are a lot more bolden now. Like, people are a lot more bold.
Yeah.
They got more balls. Like, motherfuckers will go out with somebody now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
but then
I think
be like, this is my friend.
You might travel together.
Yes.
I think it's a difference when you're in an older bracket. Like, for me, with a daughter, and if I'm dating someone who has a kid and it's like difficult to see each other, it's like whatever. I'm also very protective of my home and my space. So it's like, you have to spend time or you have to go away for a night or two to kind of get to know each other. So I think that is where things can get blurry too, because you're doing all the things people do as a couple, but it's because of the circumstances. It's so like, even just dating with a child is like a whole another playing field. Yeah. Like,
like, look at Love Is Blind. That dude that didn't disclose that he had kids. How do you not say you got kids?
Can we unpack that, please?
Bruh.
Can we unpack that? First of all, this season of Love Is Blind is a fucking the production. I'm sorry. But that's what it is, so people can watch, right? Yo, I've dipped and dabbed in production and in TV shows. I worked with Phil on a few other shows or whatever. Yeah. First of all, I thought the casting this season was remedial. I didn't find one person extremely attractive. I'm like, I get y'all trying to do regular people and shit, but this is not gonna work. Two, where you cannot tell me production did not do their research just on social media about everyone who's coming on the show. These people knew this man had 3 kids. I mean, and more importantly, are you that dumb that did you think that it was not going to be exposed? Like, or did you think, or is your ego that big that you thought you would be so good? Because my man wear 2 crosses. He lead everything with a prayer. It's almost like, you're going straight to hell, sir. Like, what you're doing is even deeper.
Yes. Talk about it, girl.
And it was like, girl, because it was like the gaslighting, the manipulation under that. I'm holding off because I want to like slowly finish, but I'm like, sis, something founded on a lie of that magnitude is not going anywhere good. I do not care how remorseful, how resentful. It was like, I was having a conversation the other day and I was like, you don't understand. The crime is in the cover up. It's not in the reality of the crime.
Yep.
It's in the cover up. That is where the disrespect and the fucking gall, gumption, audacity is. Like, my dude, it's in your ability to have, and this is again, the difference between honesty and transparency.
But you see how natural he was.
Right.
What the hell?
I just got chills because that's the scary part.
I'm telling you. And that shit could be in real life too. If you're dating, situationship, whatever the fuck it is, and this guy is not bringing the kids around you at all, and you're seeing him all the time, he's a deadbeat. He's a deadbeat.
Sis.
If he's not saying anything that he did with his kids, I'm just saying. If he, like, let's say y'all supposed to meet up, and all of a sudden he got to go pick up his kids, or he got to bring his daughter to get outfit for the homecoming dance, or he has to bring his son to baseball practice, or he has to bring his other son to work, and then maybe later has to pick him up from work because his mom is doing something else. If that's not happening in the situationship, and you know he got kids, he's a deadbeat. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're involved with your child,
bitch,
and
you want to hear this?
It?
I have had this happen in real life. 3 different girlfriends. Ready? So you just said, like, this happens in real life. No. Okay, this is a TV show, yes, but this is real life. Like, this man, okay, I'm not privy to the details. I know the baby mother came out. She's a lesbian. She was married, and he was a sperm donor at the beginning. And then I believe what I read was the second time was an accident. I don't know if that means they had sex. I don't know the intricacies, but I know that she said he stopped talking and seeing the kids the day before he went into the pods and started filming. So you guys understand the way production works. This show was filmed a year ago. So it's been a whole year. But then when the pictures came out of him wearing like best daddy in the world and him with pictures of the kids, it's like, again, communication, boundaries, clear understanding. So were you a sperm donor who agreed to this as a friend and then said, I would love to be in their life as a father? And then where did you feel like that would not be accepted by someone you were dating? It's like, this is not going away. So then in turn, you get into a relationship with this woman, you guys have kids, and your kids end up fucking your other kids because they don't know each other, which has happened.
Yes.
You know, actually a month ago, I saw this interview of this girl who's pregnant by her brother, but the backstory is they did not know they were siblings because the dad had like 16 kids. And she had to go. The reason I saw the piece is because she had to go to another state to deliver her baby because it's illegal in a lot of states to have kids. You know, basically, I don't know the exact terminology, but like to have kids who are, I don't even know what you call these. What are these kids? Like brother, sister, sister, brother, brother times 2? I don't even know.
Jesus. Crazy.
But, bruh. So
but then
in real life, in real life, I have 3 girlfriends. One found out a year after being married. Here's another thing.
Oh, shit.
And it's for 2 minutes. Where in the bajangles, when you're having a conversation, when you're getting to know someone, right? This is the part I don't understand. So like y'all talking. No, right? So y'all talking and you can be honest enough to say, oh no, I have a son. Okay. So in the 3 situations, the people who have been denied were the daughters in real life. Okay. So you didn't, and then when the confrontation comes a year later, because the phone is found and it's a phone that is used to call the daughter only and blah, blah, blah. Now we married. And then the confrontation comes and your excuse is like, it was never the right time. Sir, it wasn't the right time when you told me that you had a son. Second situation, third situation, same. Person is in a relationship, person gets pregnant, this person claims to have a son. You think you having his first daughter, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, I'm going to give you this one. Come to find out a year in, after you gave birth to your daughter, that there's a daughter. Ready? Oh. Come to find out 12 years later that there is a daughter and a son. So there's 4. Yours is 5. Okay? So I gave these examples because people are out here doing reckless shit. This is real. Real. So now you have a kid with this
4 siblings.
And all because he couldn't be honest and transparent with the information.
Because he can't wear rubber. Fuck out here.
Or that part.
Motherfucker.
And then he's not present for any of them.
That's so
crazy. The tangent started fucking Love is Blind, but it's like, yo, my dude, if you were looking for a situationship, why the hell you go on a show to get married?
Yeah, to say I love you and all that shit that he was doing with that girl with the lashes. Whoever her lash tech is.
Praying together.
By the way, her lash tech, whoever she is, she did a great job.
Amazing.
But yeah. Yes.
Because when she took off her lashes in the last episode that I saw, I was like, ooh, her face looked completely different.
Ooh, girl, put them shits back on.
Back on.
Please. Fast.
ASAP.
Yo, but on the other side of that, right? If you have kids and the person that you're with ain't trying to fuck around or be around your kid, you don't need to fuck with him either. He's not all of a sudden like kids. No. If he don't fuck with his own kids, he ain't gonna fuck with you. I see people, I swear, I see people that they'll have little children. And this was back in the day, because now, you know, all the kids that I know of my friends, they're older, you know, but you can't have every person be called daddy. Like,
yo, I never understood that trauma. Either. Like how unhealthy is that?
For real. Or uncle. How many uncles you got? Oh, my uncle, whatever, was here last night. He had breakfast with us. We're looking at my friend like, who the fuck is
here? Incest much? Incest much.
Who's here?
Incest much. So, but let me ask you, because this question came up. It's like, in your opinion, and I think it is kind of difficult in a situationship, because what happens when you want to get out?
Ooh.
Because what does that conversation look like? You know what I mean? Like, if the communication wasn't clear, or you guys keep continuing calling it a situationship, but as you're like growing in the situationship, which Diana has spoken to before, it's like, it's an automatic thing. It's like the first 6 to 8 months of a situationship relationship is when the cloth gets unveiled, kind of. And it's kind of when you start saying, oh, okay, so when we started dating or not defining or figuring out this, you presented yourself as A, B, C, D, E. And then as time has gone, so you're still getting all the kind of personality developments that happen in a relationship without the definition of the relationship. So still, as a human, you're either being turned on or you're being turned off, because though you don't want to have expectations, I think sometimes you check in with yourself and well, for me, who I check in with myself regularly, it's like, I just don't know if these characteristics even fulfill what I want in a situationship. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's just about sex or whatever, it's like that fucked up situation of like, it's a situationship, but as it's going, I'm starting to get to know your personality at the same time. Because I do believe that some situationships, me and Phil ended up being together for 21 years. I do believe that some situationships will develop into or can into a relationship if time is right, if two people are starting to feel each other. But then what happens when you're in the situationship, you start seeing all the reels and things start morphing into who you are versus who you presented yourself to be. And now, in your opinion, Z, what is that conversation like when you want to get the fuck out?
To me, I would say, because I had a few, I would say first to be patient with yourself. I had a few, girl. Nah, but I would say just be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace, right? Because just like any other type of relationship, a situationship is a harder one to get out of because, number one, like we said, it's not defined, but it's just so easy and casual. So in your head, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna break it off this time for real. I'm gonna break it off this time.
Yeah, but it's funny because it's real. So easy and casual, it can last.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm saying that you can say, this time I'm gonna do it for real. This time, for real, I'm gonna break up with him. This time it's gonna stick. No, but yeah, I would say to give yourself grace, allow yourself to get some distance, right? Do some distance type stuff, and then communicate that when you're talking to, like, why are you creating this? Well, you know, I'm not trying to mess with you right now. Like, I'm trying to just like stop, you know, get some time to myself. whatever you're going through, just communicate it. Just be like, hey, I'm just not trying to mess with you no more. And try to fully detach from it. And when I say detach from it, try not to use, and I know it's hard, but once you get into a casual relationship and you're getting used to somebody, although you're not defying it, you may get used to some of the perks that come with it, right? So when I say detaching from it completely, like, you can't say and that you want to break up with somebody, detached from it, and then be like, can you bring me something to eat? You know what I'm saying? I've done that. And then they come over and then it's like, fuck. I was almost done with you. No, but then focus on what makes you happy.
No, I hate you. Can you bring me something to eat?
Focus on what makes you happy.
Because it be that simple. Can you bring me something to eat?
That's what I'm saying. And it's happened to me where I'm like, fuck, yo. Like,
and then
I want to eat, but I don't want to go way over there to go get it. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, fuck, I'm just going to tell them to give me something to eat. I'm just going to get it at the door. And it didn't happen like that. Make a pros and cons list and really think about the things that, you know, that make you happy for the relationship, what things don't make you happy, because if you haven't committed, there's a reason why. There's a reason why you have not committed. You know, and we always talk about how we're not doctors, we're not therapists and shit like that, but we've lived through some things, we've had lives, you know, and when I give advice to some of my younger friends, like, yo, that shit work. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes you got to give shit air. Sometimes you just got to, and if you start missing the motherfucker, then you're like, you know what, maybe this may be it. And maybe I should give them a chance. But if you're always involved in the casualness of it all, then I don't know, it's just like no way for you to determine whether or not you can make it something else, you know. But if you allow yourself to break and detach and stuff, and you can still live and and breathe and do things without this person that you don't want to hook up, commit to, then you should be good.
You can still live and breathe.
Yeah, I mean,
because if you're not crying because you're no, seriously.
Yeah,
because it's funny.
Exactly.
It says how long?
Women. It's just not women.
Oh no,
men.
Oh, no.
Men will be like, yo, I never cry. You got me out here crying. Like, that's your problem. I tell you to cry.
Oh, yes. Lots of tears, boogers, and all.
Oh shit.
So it says, how long is it okay to be in a situationship? There's no set time to be in a situationship, and they could last. But this is the part that, you know, to echo what Diana is saying, and they could last from a few weeks to a few months to years. Mm-hmm. However, regular check-ins with yourself about whether this situationship is still working for you and not affecting your mental health is a healthy way to look at a situationship. And what I interpret as that is like that check-in, you know, that I'm super proud of myself about checking in. Like, I check in with friends. I actually spoke to Diana this week about some tough conversations I had to have with some friends, because it was like, I was like, am I bugging? Am I tripping? You know? And then I was like, no. And then gracefully I have these conversations with people. So I have the ability to check in with myself, but I'm always respectful. I'm also respectful to the fact that not everybody's there, you know, but when it comes to a situationship, it's like, sometimes you're like, damn, this isn't feeding me anymore. Like it used to be fun and it now doesn't feel good.
Right.
And that's where you have to be honest with yourself, where you're like, is this causing me anxiety? Like, is your body tells you a lot of shit. Whether I hold anxiety in my stomach, is it making me, like get the jitters? Is it like when he calls, am I feeling like, how is this conversation going to go? Or like, if he makes plans to see me, do I not want to see this person anymore? Like, so that check-in with yourself is so key. And sometimes the check-in will mean, you know what, this is no longer feeding me, even if it's a fuck.
And it's very important what Rocio was saying about the check-in, right? Because I've also seen, and this is the dark side of it, I've also seen where women are in situationships, right, with someone that may be in different situationships, but he has every single person, not seeing anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And threatening them that if they see somebody else, they may cause harm to them or the person that they're seeing. That's toxic. So if they're not committing to you, And if it doesn't feel good, it doesn't matter. It could be a domestic.
That's not even a situationship anymore,
physical,
sis.
Right. If they're being physical with you, if they're being abusive, if they're being threatening, if you feel anything in your gut, like we get this amazing gift from God that, this woman intuition, that when you get that feeling, you have to listen to it. No matter how much you want to make this person into the mold and the great time that we had such a great time. Oh my God, he said these amazing things that he's probably telling 3 other motherfuckers. But he said these amazing things. And another thing. I'm sorry. I'm going to go sidebar because Rocio knows we are big on action. Don't fucking tell me what you about to do. Don't tell me how special I am. Don't tell me about the commitment that you are about. No, we want you to do these things. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and do. Shut the fuck up and do. Okay? If you want to bring me somewhere, but the fucking shit. If you want to eat at a restaurant, pick me up and let's go. Shut the fuck up and do it.
I need one more. I need
Shut
more.
The fuck up.
I need the ends.
And do it.
And do it.
No, there's not people out here talking about what they're gonna do. How many people know? No. Okay, I'm 50. Rocio is still in her 40s. How many people we know that were gonna be fucking rappers? They still out here busting a note, busting a cipher. Motherfucker, you 48 years old. Hang it up. That's what I mean. Don't keep talking about what you're gonna do. Just fucking do it. Just fucking do it. Go get your girl some flowers, right? Go bring her to Boston for the weekend. Bring her to New York for the weekend. Take some time off and do some shit for your girl. And stop wondering about why she ain't doing shit for you. The fuck?
Or the other thing is doing all the things you did at the beginning to get this person, whether it was a relationship or situationship. It's like 3 weeks in, you on the phone, you able to book 4 Airbnbs and be like, if you can't make it work, don't worry, I could cancel them. And you did that shit in 10 minutes. I'm confused.
Right.
And now you 6-7 months in, and it's like, what we doing? You coming over here to chill and fall asleep? That's not hanging out. That's not spending time. Like, let's be clear, sir. It's not. It's not. And also, because of the dynamic, it's like you coming over here and acting like we're going to watch a movie and then we fuck and you leave. That's not spending time. That's both people enjoying themselves, yes, but that's not spending time.
Mm-hmm. And again,
like, let's be clear.
Yeah.
Yes, ladies, be clear. I think Diana brought up the example, and I do want to say respectfully that there is a domestic violence. You can text 88788. There is a website. There's an ability to chat. There's an 800 number 799-7233. Because one thing we don't play about is you being in a toxic, abusive, whatever he want to name it, that's no longer a situationship, sis. That's a get out now.
Talk to somebody.
Like,
quick.
To me, a situationship is something you go into knowing. You know what I'm saying? But someone, woman or male, being out here just being disrespectful and a player and then trying to set parameters on how you can move and what you can do, that's some other just toxic. That's not even a situationship anymore. That is, he's tripping. You need to get the fuck out. Because this is going nowhere good fast.
Absolutely. So get out.
But a situationship where at the beginning you was putting your best foot forward and you was talking about this and how you do this and how on the weekends you do. And then I know for me personally, because I'm so observant of everything, I'm like, well, it's been a few months and it's like, you haven't gone on one hike. Oh, wait a minute. You haven't ridden your bike not once. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. I haven't gotten flowers in 2 months. Okay, wait. Like, for me, those things matter and those things are important. And I have said this in my personal life, and I will say it publicly. I am to be pursued. I am to be chased. If you don't want to show me off like a Puerto Rican flag, I don't want it. I plan to date indefinitely until I die. Is that a huge undertaking for you? Maybe. And if it is, then this is not what I want. That is part of my non-negotiables, because thank God for me, I'm not in a space where I need a man for money. If I meet a man who can provide that financial security, amazing, because life takes highs and lows, and feeling like you can be safe with a man matters. But it's like the beauty of being, for me, again, where I am is I don't need, I want. So with wants comes, you know what? I want to be spoiled. I want to be adored. I want to be fucking lavished and shown. Even, and this can get confusing, in a situationship. Does it make sense? Maybe not. But if I have made that clear to you and you have agreed to sign up for it, and then you started with it and it's dwindled, then sir, this isn't it. This isn't it.
Well, I think that's why the situationship is so attractive. Right? Because that's that constant chase. That's that constant. That constant, yeah. Let me impress her and pursuing. So just because you're in a relationship don't mean that has to stop. But go ahead, Rocio.
No, because that's the part for me that I am, once, even in a situationship, I'm going to show you, I'm going to text you a heart. I'm going to be like, I miss you. I'll be like, I want to see you. We've had the conversation. This is a situationship, but we're both humans who want to be shown affection and want to be shown attention. And then, life takes sometimes over, sometimes, and you work, I work, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, so where is the person who at the beginning was like, if you want to make time, you can make time. All of a sudden, now you can't make the time. So these are, again, as Diana said, we are not therapists, we are not doctors, but for me, Diana's in a different season in her life because she's married, but I'm in a season of like being single for the first time in a long time, where it's like, oh, wait a minute. And then don't get confused with him being a good guy, because there are good men, and him not fulfilling what it is that you need, or I want to say what you want. There's a lot of great guys. They could be good guys. But if you want a good man who can romance you, plan a date, get you flowers, which, sis, by the way, is the minimum. Okay? Like, if you got to put it in your phone as a reminder, sir, do it. Because if you could be a general counsel for a company, if you could, and I will say shout out to Phil, because he's the one. We're not even together. And when I go to LA with Sophie, Phil brings me flowers and has her give them to me because I'm a great mother. You know what I'm saying? We have those boundaries. He understands the dynamic of the relationship. But Phil was running a company, and he taught me very young in my life, and then very early in our relationship, that if a person wants to, they will. It's literally that simple. And it's like, that was without social media, without these examples, without these like algorithms and reels that are like, it's just a simple, like, bitch, I go to Trader Joe's every Monday and get my own flowers because I love making arrangements. You know this. Cash at me my $50, dude. You get what I'm saying? It's that simple.
Yeah.
That's how you win someone over. That's how you show consistency. I go to Trader Joe's every Monday. I love it. I don't need $250 arrangements.
Right.
Like, because I need you to see me. I need to
show
feel
that you're thinking about me. Yeah.
And it's like, so ma'am, do not, in my opinion, and I don't know if Diana agrees, and flowers may not be the thing for everyone.
It
like
might be
Diana
nails or lashes. It might be
nails. It might be lashes. And it's like, here, baby, whatever. And it's like, okay, some men are like, oh, it's about the money. No, it's about the thought. And really, is $100 going to break your bank? Because if it is, I don't even want to be in a situationship with you.
Say it again.
I'm sorry, respectfully, call it what it is.
Yeah.
If $100 every 2 weeks
is going to
break your bank, I don't want to be in a situationship either. I don't. And Trader Joe's $50, mind you, with $50, I make arrangements for my office, my kitchen, my living room, my dining room, my bedroom, and my bathroom.
And you can buy dinner.
Beautiful arrangements. You know what I'm saying?
So nonetheless, goes a long way.
to in my opinion, a situationship, yes, by definition, is so whatever you want to make it. But that check-in with yourself and that ability to be like, this is what I want, even in a situationship, it might come with being alone for a little bit. It might come with, you testing the waters and then being like, you know what, this isn't what I want. And it might come with having a guy who's great. He's a good person, a good guy, but he's not the guy for you. So that until you learn how to check in with yourself, you're not going to have that aha moment of like, you know what, I'm going to keep this as a situationship knowing that it's probably not going to go anywhere, or I'm going to be like, this isn't it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Rocio said it herself. You could be in a situationship with yourself. So like that, whoever you get into a situationship, relationship, whatever, can see what you're expecting. So buy yourself flowers. Get yourself some lashes. Get yourself some nails, manicure, pedicure. They got to see the things that, so like that, they can, oh, she likes this, she likes that, she likes this. Take note. She likes this, she likes that, she likes that. And for the people that are in relationship and marriages, for all you guys that be listening, and all you girls and women and everybody that's listening, just because you're in these relationship and marriages doesn't mean that you stop dating. It doesn't mean that you should stop buying flowers. It doesn't mean that you need to stop paying attention. Because every once in a while, very transparently, I have to, give a little nudge to my husband, like, hello. And then he's like, oh, my bad. But coming from, and not to make excuses for him, but he's been spoiled his whole life from birth. So, you know what I'm saying? He was expecting it from me. So I'm like, okay, it's my turn, bruh. And he doesn't have a problem doing it. But again, if you can't communicate that with whomever you're with, like I always say, you are sharing juices, bodily fluids with somebody. That, to me, that's the ultimate. Like, you're sharing your soul, your body. Doesn't matter if it doesn't matter. Some people say, oh, that didn't matter. It did. It did matter. You're sharing your space, your body, your soul, your everything. Your everything with somebody. Communicate what you want and what you need. That's it. And if they don't want to do it for you ever, then fuck them. Shit, find somebody else that can communicate and fuck you. Shit. The fuck? There's enough dicks out here. Pussies, everything else. And VIP.
What do I say?
VIP.
I say, bitch, that part. I do say this before we wrap. A few months ago, I was like, how many people are in the world? And there's 8 billion people. Sis.
That's a lot.
8 billion people? And you wasting your energy on who? I'm confused.
I saw a meme that said this chick's so steady trying to change a man and he didn't even change his clothes.
Bitch.
I'm sorry, that just came to me. I think Ricky put it up. Shout out to Ricky.
8 billion people?
8 billion people. Get yourself a new one.
And you sweating, homie, from the bodega.
Oh, not from the bodega.
Sis. Because this is a tangent and I won't go on it, but and I don't know if you've experienced it. Some of the most successful women I know have married or gotten into.
Yo, this is not even. Come here.
This is not even part of the show. What did he do?
Show. You're about to be on the show. Look at this.
You're talking about this.
Just talking about this and how you do. Yeah.
Yo.
Oh my God.
Real life.
Husband, everybody, come here. This is my husband.
What up, Rosie?
First of all, I've never seen Diana blush.
Oh my God. She's never seen me blush.
But second of all, bruh, look at that.
Look at that. Look at God.
She manifested that shit. But also, shout out to D. That's work. That's consistency. That's letting it known what I want, what I don't want. That's checking with yourself and being like, I need to sit and have a conversation with my husband. I need to sit and let him know. It's like, if you ask him, that took him a 5-minute detour. Boo.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, my whole day.
What? Your whole day? He's totally getting some pussy. But Because I'm like, bitch, you better give them some pussy. We need to get off this recording right now. Because midday sex is the best. Okay.
He's the best.
But
I told you at the beginning, we're
is,
doing amazing right now. So I just want to keep it right there where we at. So.
But that comes again, that comes with conversation. That comes with D checking with herself and being like, you know what? I need to have a conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
I need to let him know. And
he lets me know when I have my moments. Yep. So.
And we didn't talk about it and we didn't go deeper into it. But what Diana said is true. What I have found, I know in my circle of male friends too, men nowadays are doing a lot more men's work. They are doing a lot more introspective work.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately for them, it comes in their 40s, I have found. But they are really starting to check in with themselves, really starting to take accountability, really starting to become more self-aware, really starting to be like, you know what, this is what I want. I want to be better. I want to do better. I want to love like this. This is not who I want to be. Whether or not you want to be there in that, whether or not you want to be there in that phase of growth. Cause I also respect the fact that sometimes you want to be like, well, go grow, motherfucker, and come back. But a lot of men are taking that, that traditional nah and really being like, damn, I want to check in with my feelings. I too want to be with someone who is confident, who can communicate, who can help me communicate, so I don't want any woman or person listening to be like, damn, is it going to come off too much? You never know what you can open up when you are able to be honest with what you need and how you feel. And if someone, man or woman, is pushed away or unattracted to that, that's not even someone you want to be in a situation.
Exactly.
Because that's murky.
Yep. There's people that you should be pouring into, and there's people that you could give energy to that they never received before, that can see new things in themselves. And sometimes, you're that person that can open somebody up to be like, oh shit, I've never really seen it that way. And oh shit, I've never really felt this way. Oh shit, I've never been able to communicate how I feel. Oh shit. You know what I'm saying? So in order for that to happen, communication needs to happen. Like, don't settle and then just be this person that they're manipulating, or they might not even be manipulating you. Maybe that's just you feeding off their energy to make sure you never lose them. That's another thing. I've seen people act different around men or women. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? I've seen this person. Like, who the fuck was that you just presented? Because that's not you. And if you can't be yourself with this person, what the fuck are you doing? So I'm the wrong friend. I'm the wrong friend because I'm going to let you know 100%. And a lot of the people that I know and that are in my friend circles are the same way. Rocio is the same way. My girlfriend Deanna is the same way. My best friend Nat is the same way. But I make sure that I keep these people around me so that when I'm doing a self-check, okay, fine. But if something's going outside of me that they're seeing, they could be like, what the fuck is going on? As a matter of fact, I had Deanna call me the other day. I did it in my story. She texted me. She's like, I'm feeling some type of way. What the fuck is going on? I was like, oh shit, let me call her. Because this is not a text. She's like, bitch, I'm feeling some type of way because I haven't seen you.
In full transparency, Diana did it to me the other day, and I was like, what is happening? And then she was I know. And I was like, and then I explained to her, my transition and having moving and being a season. And I apologized because I was like, maybe you felt reflective on you, but really it's more because, I'm starting to see people for who they are. Love them still, but be like, as I mentioned, I had to have certain conversations and be like, I really feel unsupported. Like, I really feel like, it's stupid shit. Like, when I got tickets to something, I got my crew, like, but in the same sensibility, it's like, why am I always overextending myself when my ass back is literally time? Check in. How you doing? Like, so it's like, even with the closest of friends, sometimes you got to be like, again, we're going to say it 100 times. Check in with yourself. If something is not,
if it ain't feeling right, it ain't, listen. Because like I said, Deanna, she did that shit to me. And I was like, baby, everything is fine. I've just been very busy. She was like, bitch, you've been busy in the past. What's going on? I said, nothing's going on. And I explained what was going on with my sister-in-law. who's battling cancer right now. Shout out to Marisol. She's doing it like a G. She's doing it like a fucking G. So shout out to you, mama. And it's just been a lot of stuff going on at the same damn time. I lost my job, but I got a new one. So there's been a lot of stuff being thrown at me. And although I am, I should say, you and I, are the strong ones, always the ones that have to be the ones to, you know, I don't want to get emotional.
Keep it together.
Keep it together. No. Keep it, you know what I'm saying? It was just a time where to go in and do a self-check and, okay, this is, you know, because at the end of the day, I lost my job and I was like, what the fuck? Why don't they want me anymore? Like, I was the go-to person. I've been the go-to person. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of that same shit that we talked about when people they're just like, no, we don't want you anymore. And it's like, what? What do you mean?
Even if you're, because you could be the most self-confident person and it's like, even though people are like, it's business, don't take it personal. Fuck, you take it personal because you're like, even if 100 people around you were getting let go, you're like, but not me, not me. And it's that moment of like, fuck yeah, it could be me. At any moment, it could be me.
And at first I was trying to be like real strong, like, yeah, fuck that. And then my best friend's like, D, you're human and I believe you too. D, it's okay. Like, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's okay to feel fucked up. This feels fucked up. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that was what I had to explain to Deanna. But I mean, that group is always, you know, but we all grew up together. So it's like that type of shit where, you know, Deanna, Ricky, Vane, Jenny, they are all loyal listeners. I love every single one of them. And then Jasmine, who has just been brought in, who's also amazing. And Deanna's sister-in-law, and Rocio has been also in the group when we're like all sitting, and she's like, "Oh my God, they're such an amazing group." Yeah, because you could be yourself, you could be transparent. If you're having a hard time, we could talk about shit, and that's the type of shit that you need in your life. At the end of the day, you could bring the situationship right to that group and be like, "Hey, this is what's going on. What do you guys think?" And you're gonna get some real deal, like. Let that motherfucker go. He a clown. I seen him the other day with whatever. Or let this motherfucker, or stay with him because you know what? He's a good dude. Stick with him and see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So you always need to have those type of people. And then Deanna, thank you so much for checking in on me, baby. You know I love you. That one right there, I tell you, and I said it on the story. She a real one. If it's just me and her and 7 bitches fighting, we just gonna look at each other and be like, we about to fight.
Scrap.
And that was a long time ago, but I'm just saying, if sign pop off now, we just looking at each other like, fuck it.
We're going to fight.
It's 7 bitches, but we got to do what we got to do.
We're going to move a little slower, but we still going to fight.
And our back's going to hurt for a longer amount of time after. But yeah, we got to do what we got to do.
I'm going to need some ice and some, but yes, for all those in a situationship, join me because I'm currently, but
I think you're handling yours pretty good though.
I mean,
like a soldier. That song, I'm a soldier. yeah. Guns, motherfucker.
I, as on this podcast, we are transparent, but not fully giving out our information. But it's like, for me, even in a situationship, it's like, I want what I want, and I'm not going to settle or back down. I gave 21 years, and I gave, and I received respectfully. I will never speak poorly of my ex-husband. He gave where he could, and he gave where he wanted to. And I gave where I could. I gave where I wanted to. I gave more. And then I was like, you know what? This just isn't it. And then I understood. I never used to understand when people would divorce and it's like irreconcilable differences until I was like, you know what? We're just growing differently where we can still be very great friends and supportive, but just don't have to be romantically linked, you know? And then I always just tell like when I have these about the situationship, it's like, if I didn't stay with the father of my child because of certain things not being fulfilled, I am not going to waver for someone that I'm dating.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
Like that doesn't even make sense. So check in with yourself, even if you're in a relationship, bitch. Like,
get you some flowers, like I just got. That was nice.
I love,
so
and they're
sweet.
red. He said,
He loved me.
I'm getting some warmth this afternoon.
It's so crazy. When he listens to this, he's gonna be like, "Yo, so crazy."
I know, but I love Los. He knows I love him. But there's nothing like a midday, even if it's not a midday session. There's nothing like a midday receive, because then you're just like, it's like
all day, and then you're texting
it like
shit.
Escalates to the night, and you're like,
or
bitch,
early morning. You never know,
right?
that early morning.
You know you've been wanting this. You know you've been wanting this. Stop acting like
every once in a while. You just gotta fall in the dick. Shit.
Yeah, the funny thing is, it's like for me, every once it has to be like all the time. Anyway, we love y'all. We hope you enjoyed this episode. It's funny because we were going to interview someone with the campaign and the presidential election coming on, and me and Diana were like, you know what, we should just get on here and just like
be sassy alone,
talk about some bullshit, because talking about this presidential election right now is depressing.
But I love Barack Obama and Eminem. That was amazing.
Forever my president.
Oh, that was amazing.
And then with the swag.
He just walked up on stage
so
like, "Hey, y'all."
Swaggy.
I wish you could have him again.
Yo, like, why do Supreme Court people have to live forever, and why can't we just decide to have presidents?
But at least we got a Puerto Rican and some black people up in there now.
At least.
Well, the black woman and the Puerto Rican woman, because that black dude, I don't know.
Oh no, he's always been disgusting.
Oh my God.
It's funny because Phil says about Barack, he's like, I love how y'all want to be like, oh, Barack and Michelle. But if he give me some, I'll take it. I'm like, I don't want to hurt her respectfully, but damn, he's so swaggy. He's so swaggy.
He'll be saying it.
He's extremely.
He brings it. He brings it. Like he brings it. He will bring your ass right down.
He humbles you quick. He'd be like, y'all love Barack and Michelle. Black love. Hashtag, this is Phil. Hashtag black love, black goals. But if he give me some, I'm going to take it.
Oh, I love when, like, if we're somewhere, like when I was in California and you were doing your breast surgery, and we were at that mall, that amazing mall that I always forget the name of it, and we were eating at this amazing market that had all these restaurants.
Century City. Yeah. We went to the Grove. The Grove,
right? That I had always seen on TV, and then I finally went to go see it. Thank you, Rocio and Phil. So I'm sitting there, and Rocio went to go get something to eat, and we're like looking at people because I love people watching, and so does he. So we're sitting there, and then he leans over and said, "What do you think that motherfucker over there is saying? You think he's saying this?" And then I'll be cracking up, and then he'll just lean back
he's
like, "Just tell me something." I'll be like, "Yo, you a fucking mess."
And move on. And move on.
He's one of the very few that can do that shit, because I'm usually the one that be doing that shit.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Move on like nothing. Like nothing.
Like nothing. And be like, no. And then like this, and I'll be like, ah!
Yeah. And even though unfortunately his sickness has slowed him down a bit, it has not slowed down that. I'll be like, yo, you still talk shit like an old black lady. Like, you need to stop. You need to stop. And he's like, what else I gotta do, Rocio? That's Phil. He's like, I got money. I got this. I got Sophie. I got you. What else is there to do? I just talk shit about me.
Yeah, for real.
The worst.
I love it.
The worst. But yeah, Barack, call me. Respectfully, Michelle.
Please.
I'll take a situationship with him any day. And guess what? In that one, we can have blurry lines. We don't need boundaries.
Whatever you want to do.
I won't even need to check in with myself. All the rules I just gave y'all, I'll be like, I'm here.
Oh, you can rap Eminem. When he went like this,
bruh.
I was like, I can't even know.
And then when he said he was nervous to go after M, how humbling is that? Mind you, I worked for Eminem for 2 years, so that's a whole nother conversation. He is tapped. So I was proud of him for stepping up and picking a party, because this election is that detrimental. Nonetheless,
I'm surprised at all the people that have come out, actually.
Because
Mark Anthony.
But by the way, his video, I don't know if you saw it. I
saw it. Oh my God.
Like, exactly, bitches. Do y'all forget?
Yeah.
How do you forget?
Yeah.
How
because
can
fucking
you
this idiot,
forget?
there's two. Who? Anuel AA and this other fucking
and Nicky
dumbass.
Jam.
Nicky Jam. What the fuck?
Who Trump thought was a woman.
What the fuck?
Uh-huh.
Bruh.
Uh-huh.
I'm like,
but you know what? I'm proud of a lot of people in the music industry were like, no, we don't connect with racists. And I know Nicki, I forget, I think it was Mana. They had a song coming out with him and they dropped it. They took it off all the streams and they were like, nope.
And he's lost a whole bunch of followers, including me.
Yeah, they're like, we can. Yeah, I'm like,
I unfollowed him and I unfollowed Anuel AA. I unfollowed both of them. I was like,
I'm questioning so many things about you. You was already on the corny spectrum.
And the shit is that I'm not even like an ultra political person, right? I do keep my eye on the things that are going on, but the fact that the fact that a woman can't, what the fuck? This is my body, like, you know what I'm saying? Mind you, I don't have a uterus anymore.
That alone,
but it's like, you know, there's people that get raped. There's people that, you know, have to get surgery or take the baby out because if not, they're gonna die. There's people that have died because of these laws. Nah, that alone.
More importantly,
that alone.
Like that alone. But P.S. There's also women who fuck and get pregnant non-intentionally and have a right to not want to continue and consent and have a baby, and that's okay.
Right.
Because,
is there right?
Why can't I do what I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we already have no say in when we get our period, how we PMS, you know, what kind of healthy pregnancy you have or you don't have, our hormone. Like, we already don't have a say in so many things. So now you want to add to that and not allow me to have a say over what I literally choose to do with my life. Come on.
Yeah.
That alone. Mm-hmm. Besides that, like we're not gonna go down the rabbit hole. But I was like, nonetheless, go spend time with your man. Go
spend time with your man. Do what you gotta go do, girls. And I'm about to go do what I gotta do with mine.
I gotta finish packing because I'm leaving.
Oh, like I see. How long are you gonna be there?
A week.
Okay.
We'll be back.
All right.
We love y'all. Situationships that led into politics that is so typical of me and Diana.
You know what you're gonna get.
Anything can happen on this podcast. Because Los's timing.
Yo, what the fuck? That was crazy. That was wow.
Los's timing.
Go surprise your man with something. Surprise him with something he likes. Surprise him, I don't know, with a hand job. I don't know. Surprise him.
You're so bad. I literally was like, go suck a stick.
There you go. Surprise him. Shit, just grab him and then grab him from behind and start tonguing him down. I bet you he'll be like, what the fuck?
No, I swear, because there's this Instagram, I gotta find it, where it's like, and it's like, what men would love to hear when you come home is like, hurry up, take your pants off, I want to suck your dick.
Right.
It's like a girl walking through the door and it's like,
and if you're a woman right now and you're listening to us and you're like, oh my God.
Like, no, bitch, this ain't the podcast for you, because there's women like me that, you know what I want to hear when you walk in the door, bitch, come here.
And your husband's probably like, yeah.
I want to hear, yes. I want to hear when you come in the door. I've been thinking about you all fucking day. Take off those clothes. And I'll be like, okay.
And if you're doubting what we're saying, ask your mate. Ask him, would you mind a hand job? He's going to look at you and go, now?
Now?
When? No. Now? Sure. They ain't going to say no. I'm telling you right now.
Never.
Ever.
We love y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Gracias for listening to Cositas Mommy Never Told Me. We hope you loved this episode. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and share Cositas Mommy Never Told Me on all your social channels. Todas las redes sociales. And don't forget, if you want in on the real tea and see all of our reactions to the craziness, watch this episode on YouTube. ¡Qué bochinche!